Social Security just released a quiet update that most people completely missed. And it's not about benefits being cut tomorrow. It's about something happening right now. Something that slowly affects every single monthly check, including yours. In fiscal year 2025, Social Security reported a return of about 4.3%. That return was earned on roughly $2.5 to nearly $3 trillion. Yunks, trillion. On the surface, that sounds responsible, safe, conservative. But here's the problem. Inflation in 2025 was higher than that return, which means, in real terms, the Social Security Trust Fund didn't grow. It shrank. Not dramatically, not overnight, but quietly. And quietly is how the biggest financial problems begin. This matters because Social Security isn't some abstract government account. It's your money. Money taken from every paycheck. Money set aside to pay you monthly benefits for the rest of your life. So when the fund earns less than inflation, your future buying power slowly erodes. Even though the balance looks fine on paper, here's where things get uncomfortable. That same money, if handled differently, could have earned far more. Not through risky bets, not through speculation, but through basic diversification. A mix of assets, the kind that long-term funds around the world already use. According to recent analysis, a properly diversified approach could have produced returns closer to 14%. 14%. That difference is massive when you're talking about trillions of dollars. Let's put that into perspective. A 14% return on roughly $2.5 trillion is hundreds of billions in gains, not over decades. In a single year, that's enough money to cover multiple months of Social Security benefits, just from investment growth alone. Right now, Social Security pays out about $120 billion every month. So imagine generating 2 or 3 months of benefits without touching the principal. That's the scale we're talking about. And yet, that opportunity was missed. Instead, the trust fund remains almost entirely locked into government bonds. Low yield, low growth. Guaranteed underperformance when inflation resus. It's safe. But safety doesn't help if it guarantees long-term decline. This is where the conversation usually turns to insolvency. We're told the trust fund could face shortfalls in about 6 or 7 years. And suddenly the focus becomes fear, cuts, delays, raising the retirement age. Raising the retirement age means something very specific. You wait longer. You receive less if you claim early, and the penalty doesn't disappear. It follows you for life. About 6% less per year you claim early. Every month, forever. That's why this investment issue matters more than most people realize. Because if the fund were stronger today, the pressure to cut benefits later would be lower. If the money grew faster, the panic would ease. But instead, we're watching time slip by. There is talk in Washington about changing this, about allowing a portion of the trust fund to be invested more broadly, even peeling off around $1.5 trillion to invest differently. Not recklessly, just realistically. If that had happened 10 years ago, the conversation today would look very different. If it had happened 20 years ago, insolvency wouldn't even be a topic. Markets rise over time. History shows that clearly, but Social Security never got to participate. So here's the real question. Should your retirement money be locked into guaranteed underperformance? Or should it be allowed to grow in a way that reflects reality? There's no perfect answer. And reasonable people can disagree, but ignoring the math doesn't make the problem disappear. Then pretending 4% returns are good enough in a high inflation world is dangerous, because the cost is paid slowly. By future retirees. By current beneficiaries. By you. This isn't about politics. It's about stewardship, how carefully and honestly your money is being handled, and whether decisions today are making tomorrow harder than it needs to be. I want to hear what you think. Should Social Security be allowed to invest differently? Or should safety come first, even if it means falling behind? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you're on Medicare or approaching it, don't guess. There is free help available to make sure you're properly covered and not overpaying. Thousands in this community have already done it, and many are saving real money every year. If you've already reached out for help, comment the word chapter below. I read every comment, and I feature them in future videos. Subscribe if you're new here. Share this with someone who relies on Social Security.